First off, I want to start off with United. Obviously, big game on the weekend, Liverpool United. Biggest game in English football history over the last 30 years, you can say, since Ferguson took over United and decided that he wanted to knock Liverpool off the perch, which he done. I think there was a huge gulfing difference between Liverpool and United in terms of league titles won, and I don't even know how long he was at United. I think it must have been 20 years, probably more. In over the 20 years he was at United, he literally golfed, like just dominated the league and just took over and just eclipsed Liverpool in league titles by two, but still eclipsed them. And ever since then, it's always been the rivalry between Liverpool and United over the decades has always been there, and it's always been Liverpool's ambition as a club and as fans, as the fan base has always been to get back on a perch and knock United off. And obviously, we started to do that last season. Obviously, got league title number 19, so we're still one behind United, but we're catching up. But over the weekend, this was the big build-up. This is United probably back on top since Ferguson retired. The first time they've been top of the league at this point of the season since Ferguson retired 7 or 8 years ago. Liverpool, the reigning champions, obviously want to defend their title, but this game was just built up to be a whole load of nothing. I mean, I think what I've noticed with games like this that have a huge build-up, usually the end result is always a 0-0 because both teams always suss each other out, and they know each other, and they know that each team knows about their weakness and decides that they want to stop. They don't want to lose to their rivals by exploiting their weaknesses, so they work on their weaknesses and forget to attack. Happened with United and Chelsea, happened with United and City, happened with Liverpool and City, happened just now with Liverpool, United, happened with Tottenham and Chelsea as well, I think it was. Yeah, so it happens. But I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is how United have gone from pretenders to actual title contenders. And they clearly have one man to thank. And that man is Bruno Fernandes. This guy has been a revelation to Man United, and it is just incredible. The things that he has done, I think he has been at United, if I'm not mistaken, a year, exactly 1 year. And in that year, United have, if this season had started in January last year and ended this season in January, United would be Premier League champions, or on the cusp of being Premier League champions. I'm looking at stat right now. Let me get that up for you guys. I'm looking at stat right now. So since Bruno Fernandes joined Man United, they have played 30 games, won 19, drawn 8, lost 3. And okay, people always say all he does is score penalties. He does, but his impact on the team is that you cannot debate his impact on that United team. They didn't even have a top four. They didn't have a form of a side that was challenging to be in the top four. Their form was just piss poor, let's be honest. But they have gone now from, and obviously it was taking a piss at Volley. Volley's at the wheel. He's crashing the bus. Ha ha ha, it was all bands. I was part of that bandwagon. I was laughing, joking. It was all fun and games. But since they bought Fernandes, I don't even know how much they bought him for. Must have been about 40 or 50 million. Since they bought him, he has just been on fire. Literally, him and De Bruyne are probably the two best central attacking midfielders right now in the league. And based off current form and impact, we'd have to say Bruno Fernandes is ahead of Kevin De Bruyne. Now, if Bruno Fernandes can do it consistently, and I don't know what his assist stats are like, I'll have to look up that, but De Bruyne, clearly, when City have struggled, it's shown in terms of Kevin De Bruyne not winning the game himself, taking the game by the scruff of the neck. If there isn't an Aguero or a Jesus there to finish off the chances that he creates, usually City just fall flat. It happened last season. It happened last season and it happened at the beginning of this season, where City were just kind of flat. Kevin De Bruyne again was performing, but there was no enough to finish the chances, and he wasn't getting the match-winning goals himself. Bruno Fernandes, arguably, you can say, has done that. Where Pogba has not been able to perform, obviously people have been saying that it's because of the quality of players that he's playing with. Bruno Fernandes has come in, again, buried that myth. He's literally taken United to winning games by himself. Fair enough, again, usually they're penalties, and most of them are penalties, but he's still he is the reason United are where they are right now. So without a shadow of a doubt. And people call it the Eric Cantona effect, when Eric Cantona came into United in the early 90s and he done what he done, helped them win titles. It could be that. The only problem with Fernandes, or the only thing you can say you can have against Fernandes, is the fact that he doesn't turn up in the big games when it matters most. It's okay scoring goals against Newcastle, Villa, Leicester, West Brom, and all them teams there. But when you're playing your main top six rivals, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, you can say arguably, City, Liverpool, he isn't. He doesn't turn up. So, case in point, yesterday against Liverpool, you could say Thiago marked him at the game. Thiago completely dominated that game from the first half. Second half, not so much. And obviously Fernandes kind of got into his stride a little bit in the second half. But you could say the ball was like a lot of the passes weren't finding Fernandes. But even when they did find Fernandes, apart from that one shot on target where Alisson made a great save, apart from that, I don't think Fernandes had too much of an impact on the game itself. Same thing against Tottenham earlier in the season. Same thing against Man City twice this season, once in the league and once in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Who else did they play? Chelsea. Same thing against that. It's just he doesn't turn up against the big six sides. I think he scored one goal against a big six side, like a big six side, and I think that was a penalty in a defeat. I can't remember who it was to. I think it was maybe Tottenham. I don't know, but that's the only probably criticism you can level at Bruno Fernandes, that he doesn't turn up for the big games. But if he does, and United continue on this rich trend of form that they're on, hey, don't be surprised that they're going to end up winning the league. I mean, no one's writing off City, no one's writing off Liverpool, but at this moment in time, you have to say United are probably favourites. Let me know what you think. Tell me, do you think Bruno Fernandes is the saviour that United have been craving for? Are United still one or two players short? I mean, people have been saying that they need a right winger to probably get them the type of goals that Rashford will get because he plays on the left. They wanted Jadon Sancho in the summer. They didn't get him because, for whatever reason. But even his form right now at Dortmund is not the type of form that United want right now, or is worthy of the 100 million that Dortmund want, for Jadon Sancho. His form is not worth 100 million at all. So it doesn't make sense for them spending that much money on a player like him to then put up numbers that he's doing right now, Dortmund, which is pretty much dog shit. Then there isn't many right wingers out there that are good. Wilfried Zaha, again, he was someone that should have been the next, the next big thing, basically, at United. Alex Ferguson brought him in, then retired. David Moyes couldn't get the best out of Wilfried Zaha. I think Louis van Gaal couldn't get the best out of him either. He ended up getting sold. His goals and assists, and contribution. Fair enough, he's playing for Palace. He's not probably getting the same opportunities in front of goal as he would with like let's say United, but he is still producing up numbers that are not worthy of the 70 or 80 million price tag Palace have put on his head to stop Arsenal from buying him. So yeah, they may need another right winger. Maybe Mason Greenwood is the answer, but the fact that he's only 18, 17, I don't even know how old he's still young, basically. So to put all that weight on his shoulders I feel like it will be totally irresponsible of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United. So it's clear that they want someone experienced, someone who can do it at the highest level. Who that person may be, I don't know. And maybe another centre back, because as good as Maguire is, and as good as Lindelof is, they are not the quickest. So it was evident. It's been evident this season that United don't play with a high line, especially if they're playing teams that can catch them on a counter attack. So when they played City, when they played Liverpool, Tottenham, they have been a lot deeper than, let's say, their opponents. They same thing against Leipzig, very deep defensive line because they haven't got quick centre backs. Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, fairly quick, but the pace of Lindelof and Maguire, the lack of pace, should I say, it's just hindering their ability to push on and at least be on the front foot from the word go and take those risks. But yeah, who knows? Bruno Fernandes is probably. I think everyone realised that when Liverpool were almost a complete side to challenge for the title, everyone knew that they needed another centre back and a keeper. They ended up getting Van Dijk and Alisson. If all United need to complete their side is another centre back and a right winger, and they get them, then I guarantee you, United will be a force to be reckoned with in the years to come. I hate to admit it, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Are United back? I won't say to their best, but are they back in terms of climbing up that hill and reaching back on their perch, or is this just I don't even know what to call it. Can't even call it luck because it's been happening since, like I said, Bruno Fernandes arrived last year, so it's not even luck. But is it just coincidence? Is it just a temporary form that they're on right now? The wheels are going to fall off on the Ollie bus, or is Ollie just, the babyface assassin that we have known him to be in his playing days, and he's just proven that as a manager? Who knows? Who knows? The babyface assassin could do it. He could be that guy. Anyway,